As the broken Horadric knight, Rathma, heads off to pursue the Pale Man, we have been tasked with enlisting the aid of the Cathedral of Light here in the city. Strange bedfellows for a necromancer, yet surely with Inarius' hate for Lilith, our enemy's enemy may prove yet to be an unexpected ally. As paranoia grips the locals we overhear.
I tell you, my neighbor is bewitched. I saw him skulking outside my door, muttering curses.
Right. This wouldn't have anything to do with the money you owe him, would it?
Trudging north, we find a throng of people admiring a large statue of Inarius, spear pointed to the heavens, which we only take in its full breadth while circling the stone rendition. Then we find a local priest delivering a sermon to all those who would listen.
For 100 generations, hell itself imprisoned Father Inarius, but they could not break him. He cast off his infernal shackles and returned to us. And now, he will guide the faithful along the path of deliverance.
I guess we shall soon find out if the angel is worth our praise or contempt. Continuing higher up the steps, we see a crowd gathered around the symbol of the church, with an ominous crimson teardrop-shaped gem in the center. To the left of the stairs, we find a woman praying to a makeshift shrine who beseeches.
Father Inarius, bless the child that grows in my belly. Keep him safe in your light.
Below her, a man named Omitri, who gives thanks.
Oh, glorious Father, thank you! Your light has cleansed the disease from my flesh. I am made whole in your radiance.
Similarly, children huddled for warmth in the southeastern corner spread Inarius' legend further.
My brother told me you have to shield your eyes in the Father's presence, or his light will make you blind. That's why the knights wear helmets.
So, Inarius performs miracles. But at what price? Entering the double doors of the church, we interrupt mid-sermon.
We were born in sin, children of darkness. But the Father's light can be sought through penitence and faith. Walk in the light.
And a surprise to see our one-time ally, Iosef. Prava, seeing us, continues.
We must be ever vigilant against sin, brother.
Yes, Reverend Mother.
Let the light of Inarius burn away wickedness. Let not temptation lead you from his holy radiance. Let righteousness sear away corruption and sin. Cast out thy darkness, for only light must remain.
Cast out thine darkness, for only light must remain.
Is this the one from the west?
Yes, Reverend Mother. Did Lorath not accompany you?
He sent me on without him.
Putting faith in that old man was a mistake. What could possibly be of greater import?
Lilith.
So, you know. We have received word from one of our knights of a demon sighting in Gale Valley. The description matches too closely to the sighting in Nevesk. If you would travel to Yelesna and take stock of the events there, you would have the gratitude of the Cathedral of Light. I had thought to send Lorath, but...
Again, he fails in his duty.
With or without Lorath, the will of Inarius shall be done. Here, take the knight's report before you go.
We gather, draped over the altar, an ornate scroll which reads,
Reverend Mother, I received a report of a potential demon sighting. Horned woman near Yelesna mines. Performed routine inspection, nothing yet. Sent in priest and escort of knights. We'll report in when we find something.
Pocketing this information, we then ask Prava, you know Lilith?
His skill is unmatched. But as you can see, He's not so reliable.
It's not out of indifference. He went off searching for a pale man who accompanied Lilith.
So someone is helping her. How easily the souls of men sink to darkness.
What do you know of Lilith?
She is spawn of a prime evil. Mark my words, Nevesk was but the beginning. She will kill again. But our father, the angel Inarius, is prophesied to defeat her. Where there is faith, there need not be fear.
What happened in Yelesna?
One of our flock, the watch commander, Vigo, sent word of a demon sighting. A girl claimed to see a horned woman. The risk is too great to dismiss. Seek him out. He should be well into his search.
And so we leave the church on Lilith's trail, down the rabbit hole with a new ally in Inarius' many zealots. Hopefully this watch commander, Vigo, or the girl that supposedly sighted Lilith, have the answers we seek before the demoness tears up the rest of the countryside. Leaving the frozen streets of Kor Valar behind, we overhear some of the locals discuss the church.
Say, where are those girls of yours? Finally ran off to play knight, have they?
They left for Kor Valar this morning. They'll have food, training, more than I can give them.
It seems there is a common theme here. We can't help but wonder how much of his army is comprised of the faithful versus the malnourished. Exiting the city via the southeast, it's evident the ostentatious facade is solely in the western quarter, as we step gingerly over the questionable bridge and into a pack of hungry wargs. Marauders too lie in ambush, perhaps working in collusion with the wolves for those unlucky enough to leave the relative safety of the city. Heading east, we enter the lowlands and are immediately set upon by a new group of enemies as a horde of ghouls run us down. Contending with the first pack, a second descend upon us. Overwhelmed by their sheer volume, we race towards the bastion of Yelesna, the light of the beacons sending the ghouls scampering away, momentarily safe.
Not while I'm in town.
We head inside the town and see a local priestess, flanked by knights, who, seeing our plight, solemnly preaches.
Darkness encroaches on the light. Dull swords must be sharpened and armor polished.
The town is in a state markedly worse than Kor Valar, and we decide to speak to the nearest local, a woman named Marietta, hunched over a barrel.
It's a hard life here, but with the dangers and the mines. But if I'm lucky, could make it 5 more years without sight of injury or death.
Nearby, we hear the unmistakable rowdy banter of a local watering hole and enter the tavern known as the Hog's Head. By the fire, a knight, Gastiv, muses.
Look, I didn't ask for this post, but as long as I'm here, I may as well make some money. Don't worry, I'll tithe.
No harm, no foul, eh? Congruently, we see a local gambling game being played by a group in the middle of the room who shoo.
Leave me alone. I'm off duty. Just trying to have a little fun, for once.
We then see a gaggle of men in various states of stupor by beer barrels, and their server jests.
Wait your turn, you drunkards! There's plenty to go around!
It's true what they say. Idle hands make the devil's work. But what has the knight so displaced? We then turn to the local innkeeper, Tassiana, for answers. Why are the mines closed?
Story changes depending on who you talk to. Some say demons, others say werewolves. Don't really matter, all means the same thing. Closed minds and idle hands.
Our thoughts exactly. How is Yelesna surviving?
The cathedral mostly. Most people don't want to admit it. Too proud. Don't want them here, but can't survive if they leave.
You seem to be doing well.
Probably better than it should. Hard times make people want to feel something. A little drink, a little gambling. Better than being scared all the time, eh?
What a sad state of affairs. We need to locate whoever is in charge to find answers, and the Captain Vigo. We then ask a local guard just outside, and realize she's barely able to stay on her feet.
Ain't had nothing but vegetable stew for weeks now. I'd bet a month's wages for a scrap of meat.
We feel bad for the nearby loitering chickens. In the center of town, we come across a welcome waypoint, and to the west, a nearby knight, Fabian, who shivers.
This damn cold chills me to my bones. Can't wait to get out of here.
And to his right, a guard, Svitla.
The knights are willing to teach us a few tricks, which have come in handy.
Heading up the stairs, we see an office of import, but pause, witnessing the hanging of a bloody corpse stripped down, being gawked at by a local Grisella.
I remember when there was a hanging only once in a while. Now, they happen every week.
And just to the north, more corpses, but this time, hated vampires. These rotting, stinking corpses of the undead are a grim reminder of the dangers outside the city. A scared populace is a controlled one, but we fear their apprehension is wholly justified. Turning to a smithy, hammering a spiky door named Denisov, he ponders aloud.
Been working on this door for days. Not much else to do around here. Even less to sell. Should fetch a nice price.
Seeing all we need to know of the locals and their plight, we head to the Western Garrison building, pausing only to pat a poor mangy dog.
Hello.
A bit too friendly when meat is so scarce. Inside the office, we spot the local magistrate, looking cast aside with the guard captain at his desk.
Can't you see I'm busy? Yes, the knights are not preferred, but they serve a purpose. One this town desperately needs.
We then seek the real power in town, Captain Anchors, who scant looks up from his paperwork and questions.
Prava sent me. I'm looking for Vigo.
You and that nuisance of a child both. Girl's been nagging us about that demon woman all week. Vigo's gone, looking into her claims. He should be at the mining camp north of here. Whole escort of knights went missing there last week, along with the girl's mother and another woman. Watch yourself out there.
Sounds like this girl may have spotted Lilith after all. A whole escort of knights disappearing is troubling, to say the least. We then head east through the town's muddy thoroughfare, and a pained guard, Mironov, complains.
This blister is killing me. I need new boots.
Undersupplied and underfed, we shudder at the damage a demon could do to this weary rabble.
Hope the fish are biting today.
Heading northeast through the murky Zeleny lowlands, we're again swarmed by the ghouls, hungrily awaiting stragglers by the village gates. Sensing the entire countryside is waiting for us to stumble in the muddy terrain so they can take a wet bite out of our flesh, we make a dead run for the mining camp, fatigue setting in and our enemies blessed with unnatural stamina keeping pace. It's only as we see the dim lights of the Pine Hills mining camp, still guarded, do we breathe a sigh of relief as our assailants think better of a full frontal assault and peel back into the woods to await the next victim for their ever-growing army of the undead.
More strangers in the camp.
Once inside the camp, we see we're not entirely welcome. Heading northeast, we find blocking the mine's entrance a Church of Light officer, hand on sword hilt and looking worse for wear. We then realize we've found Vigo and ask,
Are you Vigo? I was sent...
Hey! I know what I saw. She had horns like a beast. Strode right past where you stand. To think my mother's trapped in there with her.
You let my mother through, sir. Shouldn't you be responsible for her safety?
But we have soldiers stationed inside.
You should be worried about them, too. Maybe you can help me.
Young Neyrelle then approaches us to aid with her mother, and we know, in all likelihood, we're probably too late. Meeting the card captain Vigo in the Windfall Hollow Mines, we learn that a young girl, Neyrelle's mother, as well as an escort of guards are trapped in the mines with a horned demon. We then ask, what brings you to Yelesna?
My mother and I studied the Horadric. We were onto something big, but then she ran off. It's not like her to abandon the hunt.
And you can't go after your mother. Why are these mines sealed off?
Mines are closed on church orders. They're not safe. Especially not for children.
Hoping to change the captain's mind, we approach Vigo and inform. Reverend Mother Prava sent me.
She did?
The horned woman is the demon Lilith.
No, that can't be. My mother taught me that name. You speak of the daughter of hatred.
Did Prava mention me? She wasn't angry, was she?
There's more than your job at stake here.
Come on. Let's get this over with.
Vigo, acquiescing, opens the door with a slight huff before barreling through into the mine's western track towards the shaft below. Fiddling with the hoist, he complains.
The damn hoist is stuck. We've got to go on foot. Look out!
We're then set upon by re-risen miners, swathing through the dead en masse. Neyrelle then realizes.
Hey, that's my mother's charm on your wrist.
It's mine now, girl. She gave it to me when I let her and her friend pass through.
Escorting the knight and the treasure-seeking magpie of a girl east, we locate the entrance deeper in the condemned mines and cautiously step inside as Vigo somewhat loses his nerve.
Maybe we should go back, round up the knights.
And leave my mother in Lilith's care for as long as that will take? No. I'm going on.
Deeper in the stagnant tunnels, the air hangs heavy and the stench of death surrounds us. Although instead of the fresh undead met above, we're greeted by shambling skeletons risen in Lilith's wake. Contending with waves of undead hordes, the mines begin to come down around us, making Vigo warily comment.
Beams are too damn old. Shaking like leaves.
Descending into the dark bowels of the cave, Neyrelle then questions the captain.
What's special about this place anyway? What would draw Lilith here?
Hell if I know. Prava doesn't tell us anything. No one goes in, nothing comes out. That's all.
Sounds like the first honest thing Vigo has said thus far. We then find another mine shaft with what appears to be a miner holding its legs to its chest, cowering, and wonder how it died in this position. In the center of the room, we see a pile of corpses in a worse state, and Vigo mutters.
No lift. The jam must be deeper down.
With no lift access, we attempt the door Neyrelle inspects.
Locked.
Over here. I can squeeze through to the other side.
Wait, hold on. And there she goes. Enemies approaching. Nowhere to go. Fight's coming to us this time.
We're then set upon by ghouls who drop from the ceiling in clusters, and it's then we realize This is no longer a mine shaft, but a feeding ground, as a hated vampire lord attempts to make a meal of us.
Open that door, girl!
I've got it!
With Neyrelle safely returned, Vigo compliments the girl.
That was quick thinking.
Sure.
The captain then questions.
Why would your mother leave you like that?
She wouldn't. Or she shouldn't have. I'm sure she had good reason.
We then descend deeper from an unstable shaft into collapsing depths, making haste, as a collapse is not an if, but instead, when. Surviving a final cave-in, Neyrelle exclaims,
I'm not dying here!
our only option, to go deeper into the darkened way below.
Over there! An opening!
Go!
We arrive in a large cavern before the shaft behind us collapses, and Vigo gasps.
The tunnel's closed. We're trapped without the hoist.
Look, there she is!
Neyrelle runs off into the gloom with Vigo dutifully in tow. We follow behind, and seeing her peering off into the distance ask, what is it, Neyrelle?
That statue. It's her. The way I saw her.
Lilith.
We need to find my mother.
Although this is good tidings that we're on the demoness's trail, a part of us wished the girl was mistaken for her mother's sake. We then double back and find a ladder leading down to the level below. Worse is the blood trail as we spot signs of a struggle between the demon fallen and the Church of Light guards who, troublingly, have abandoned their barricade.
Over there, the hoist.
We head back to the hoist and Vigo sighs in relief.
At last, I'll ride out. Oh, hell. A demon. Here?
Dislodging the corpse with a bone shard, Vigo again gasps.
Slain? What happened?
We turn to the captain and say, well, Vigo, here's our way out.
We need reinforcements.
No, we can do...
What was that?
It came from beyond the gate.
Curious at the source of the pained grunt, we rush to the stone gate of Kasama, which opens with an ancient seal in a cloud of dust, and witness a terrible scene ahead.
No. The escort. They're all dead. Over there.
We rush to the only guard still breathing and ask of the dying man, who did this?
A woman. Vigo. It was one of the women you sent. Only... she wasn't human. She was a demon, like the statue. Claims she mothered sanctuary. It was a dead bloodbath.
The other woman, Vhenard, where is she?
She begged for her life. Lilith spared her, let her deeper in. Give up, girl. She's lost. Vigo, you must listen. Steel did nothing. Spells, prayers, all useless. Go to Kor Valar. Tell Prava. Raise the army. The father. Evil itself mocks sanctuary. Do this for me.
He is dead.
I'm done for. Your mother told me this trinket would bring good fortune. To think I trusted her.
She bribed you with it, didn't she? You weren't supposed to let her through at all.
But it's not too late. She can still be saved.
Not by me. Not anymore. Prava will know what to do.
You're leaving us? Abandoning her?
There's nothing left to abandon. She's good as dead. I'm sorry, kid.
He really just left us. It's up to us now.
With Vigo raising the alarm in Kor Valar, we're left to pursue Lilith with the young Neyrelle. Unfortunately, if experience has taught us anything, it's that Vigo was probably right about her mother's fate, leaving the dead where they lie. We gingerly hop over the chasm, and certain death as Neyrelle follows suit and declares,
Lilith can't be too far.
It's then we see a stone tablet written in ancient text, accompanying artwork etched on the floor that reads, Lilith showed me the ugly truth of her cosmos. The eternal conflict. Angels and demons have battled over control of all creation for all time. To what end? I asked, and she simply laughed. But who deciphered this? As we find blood petals below and question.
What is this?
Using our powers of blood magic, we place a hand on the symbol and see a blurred vision of the past.
How your mind races. Yes, I am Lilith, mother of sanctuary.
Daughter of hatred.
I have what you seek. You hunger for knowledge. You dragged your child all over sanctuary in pursuit of it.
No, I taught her how to survive.
Is that what you want to believe? Drop the act. You have questions. I have answers. I know the fabric of the cosmos.
Everything I've read has warned me against you.
You've read so much, yet know so little. Will you accept my offer?
I don't know. Will you let me try? I want to try.
Your mother is alive. She came this way with Lilith.
How can you be sure?
Sometimes I see visions of the past. I saw them.
What? How?
Lilith's petals. Her blood was fed to me once.
So, if Lilith spared Neyrelle's mother, she must be notating Lilith's words on the stones. We must find her before she succumbs fully to the demon's influence. Again, a gaggle of fallen rush out of the ruins to ambush us. Wherever Lilith goes, demons seem to spawn in her wake. We then see a picture of Lilith and what we assume is the angel Inarius embracing on the stone, and the chalky entry is titled, Forbidden Love, reading, Lilith saw a way to escape the eternal conflict. She tells me it started with the seduction of the angel Inarius. All this time, he was just as fallible as any man. Below, more demons loiter over an image of Lilith and Inarius in possession of the World Stone. The entry is titled Sanctuary, reading, Lilith is Sanctuary's mother. Somehow I felt the truth of it the moment she said it to those knights. Now I know how. She used Inarius to craft this world, a refuge from the eternal conflict. Heading up the stairs to the south, the Fallen's efforts to repel us grows as they send waves of their exploding vile lunatics to sacrifice themselves in an effort to halt our progress. Wading through the corpses, we find a mural of Lilith and Inarius seemingly guiding humanity. The stone tablet is labeled The Firstborn and reads, All my life, I've sought the origin of humankind. It was always her. From the union of angels and demons came the first generation of humanity. They were powerful, movers of mountain, shakers of the seas. We fight our way to look out over a black lake at the very depths of the temple. Strange obsidian obelisks protrude from a stone platform, and we can barely make out etched writings of a glyph, not unlike that of the Icehell ruins. Doubling back down the path, we begin to climb the slippery stone, lower into the depths, finding a mural we spied originally on the higher floor of a man who appears to be our order's patron, Rathma. Shocked, we read the deciphered stone slab and are dismayed at its revelation, as it's labelled Rathma, and reads, "She was so proud in the telling of this part. Lilith and Inarius bore a son together, Rathma. He is wise beyond years, the first to untangle the power of necromancy. She says his lair lies deeper in." We step back in utter shock, staring at the face of our order we barely recognize. Never had there been mention of Rathma's lineage, or to our knowledge, his continued existence. No wonder he craved balance, being the direct offspring of angel and demon alike. It was bred into him. Reeling from the revelation, we press on, our entire understanding of the order of necromancers coming into question, and we selfishly want to find Rathma for answers more than Lilith herself. We then enter the Courts of Dawn and find the now familiar blood panels of Lilith in our path.
So curious. You are eager to know why you were spared.
Yes.
Do you have faith in me?
I want to.
Good. For now, all you need know is that we are going to meet my son.
Rathma, the first necromancer.
He is that, and more. He is the key to my plans.
It sounds like they're searching for Lilith's son, Rathma. Together.
Mother, what are you thinking?
It's not long before we also locate more writings on stone, this time in Vhenard's hand that's scrawled. Lilith opened my eyes to the crimes of Inarius. He betrayed her, banished her. He sapped the power of her children. He's the reason we're weak, the reason we die. He ruined us because he feared us. We'll show him he was right to be afraid. To the southeast, wading through the many fallen and their overseers, sent to guard the ruins, Nyrel exclaims.
Blocked again. Does Lilith know we're coming?
As we move to read the blood petals below, we hear an unfamiliar flapping and look up in horror to be faced with the succubus, Roasaka, a gift of the mother. She flings sizzling orbs of crimson death that burn us to our core. Not before we swing our scythe through her midsection and she falls limp to the floor. We then read the blood petals and see Vhenard's descent.
You've mastered your fear, but I still sense your pain. You miss your daughter.
My magpie. She's scared right now. She must be.
Go. Or stay. It is time to choose.
I trained her well. She's a good kid. Strong. She'll be all right,
You've chosen well, my child. To reach Rathma, we will need to cross a lake at the bottom of these ruins. It requires a ritual. I will teach you.
As you wish, Mother.
Good. You're ready for lesson 1. Blood is the key.
What did you see this time? I don't need sparing. Tell me.
Lilith plans to teach your mother a ritual. One that needs blood. Your mother seemed receptive.
We have to reach them.
Alarmed at Neyrel's mother's embrace of blood magics, a dangerous arcane expertise, even in experienced hands, refined by another succubus to the northeast, another delusional diary entry by Lilith's latest apprentice reading, "How silly my idle fancies of yesterday seem now. I believed in the Horadric, but I was misled. With them as our champions, we can barely survive. But Lilith will make us victors. All my life I've been searching, but it was me that needed to be found." As we battle through the fallen, we realize it's clear that although we'd witnessed the turning of the townsfolk of Nevesk, we have wholly underestimated Lilith's ability to seduce through her children's dark desires. And so we then upgrade our garb, found on the felled fallen enemies in anticipation of encountering Lilith, including a rare two-handed sword named Corpse Weaver, as well as a tunic and leggings. It's not long before we find to the west a door barred by a strange aura, and Neyrel discerns.
This barrier. It looks like the same kind of magic as before.
We then respond. Demons approach. We need to get through.
I think I can dispel it.
As the fledgling mage sets to work, sandstalkers pour in from all sides, setting upon us as we desperately try to protect Neyrel, who steadfastly works on opening the door. Slaughtering 24 of the stalkers, we then contend with the gluttonous Brander before Neyrel exclaims,
"Yes, I did it!"
The ancient gate then groans open, and we descend deeper below into the morning shore. It's to our left we stumble upon a final scribbling of Vhenard that reads, "How sweet this taste! Lilith asked me to aid in a ritual, sacrificing a priest from the escort. He had no fight. He just prayed as we made his blood useful. Forgive my hand, I'm still shaking. Power dances along my bones. I walk the path of our maker now." Realizing we're now at the surface of the Black Lake, we head northeast, hearing chanting in the distance.
Not enough blood. Never enough blood. I will follow you to the ends of Sanctuary, Mother.
Stopping to check a corpse strewn across the steps, and see it's indeed the dead priest she spoke of. A huge gash across his neck has him drained of blood, as Neyrel declares.
There she is.
Neyrel's mother, on all fours, traces the runes in the priest's blood, oblivious to our presence, and we turn to Neyrel saying, "Go ahead, I have your back."
Mother? Neyrel? You're just in time. Beyond this lake lies the necropolis of the firstborn, a trove of magic and knowledge. I opened the way for Lilith, but I could not pass through with her. I lack divine element, you see.
Stop.
But I can find it. I'm so close. I simply need...
Mother, stop! Look at what Lilith has done to you. You're writing in your own blood.
My little magpie. She awakened me. She showed me things I can't even put into words. Once I've finished, you will understand.
I don't care what she showed you. Please, let's just get out of here.
Oh, I see. Yes, clever magpie. Trying to lead me away so you can take all this for yourself. This is my discovery, not yours. I will finish these runes with your blood!
You must stop this!
Look at the gifts she's given me.
We impotently try and extract the blood barrier's magics to no avail, and Vhenard summons succubi Hellspawn as her personal bodyguards. Intuiting the demons linked to Vhenard's life force. We dodged their bloody projectiles and managed to dispatch 2 of the winged fiends, wounding Vhenard in the process.
I need more time.
Mother, no! You won't take what's mine!
The maddened miscreant sends us back in a crimson wave. As her glyphs glow an ominous red, more demons appear, as well as torrents of spinning blood beams. Again, we critically wound the Blood Witch, and Neyrelle cries out in dismay.
Please! I don't want you to die!
Desperate, Vhenard calls forth a throng of Hellspawn led by a Goliath pit lord. However, our expertise in blood magic proves superior as we release a blood burst that turns the demon to ash. The final succubi begins to flap around in terror, attempting to flee with a final swath of our spectral scythe as Vhenard shrieks.
No!
As Neyrelle's mother lies in a pool of the little blood she has remaining, she begins gasping her final breaths, and, unable to look at the poor girl, we turn away and say, "I'm sorry."
You were protecting me. I don't want to hate you. I'm trying. I really am. We're going to make Lilith pay for what she's done. So we need blessed blood. Go back to your Prava. Get that blessing. Beg if you need to. Whatever it takes. My mother started this damn ritual. I'm going to finish it. Meet me in the Mistral Woods.
Why there?
The Horadric hid a vault there. Finding it was her life's work. So much for that. Maybe it will help with the ritual. If not, at least I can bury her where she'd want. I need time. I'm sorry. Just leave me.
Leaving Neyrelle to the tragic mess of her mother's remains sprawled on the floor, we discreetly pick up her dagger, a token of Lilith's power, steeped in Vhenard's blood and dark knowledge, no doubt. Attempting to intercept Lilith before she could locate her firstborn Rathma, the patron of our Order of Necromancers, we find our path barred by a black lake and Neyrelle's mother, who we were forced to fell. We then learn the lake can only be crossed with a divine blessing, and thus return to the Church of Light in Kjovashad for guidance, finding Iosef by the altar.
See that the kitchen is ready for tomorrow's service. Angels above, you've returned!
We explain. I need a holy blessing to continue chasing Lilith.
The Reverend Mother will want to hear of this, but she's away at Kor Valar. Seek your blessing there. Everything is unfolding as Inarius foretold. Soon, he will be free to escape Sanctuary and return to the heavens where he belongs.
Before leaving, we inquire, what do you know of Reverend Mother Prava?
As a girl, she was sick, plagued by constant seizures. But Inarius healed her. When I met her, I was a sinner. But her faith showed me what I could be. There's no one better fit to lead us.
What is Kor Valar?
One of our defenses against the prime evils. We fight terror with faith, hatred with compassion. We've built the mighty towers at Kor Valar to withstand destruction.
And Inarius foretold this.
He was given a prophecy. Light piercing hatred's heart, it said. He knew what it meant, that he was fated to kill Lilith. And when he does, he will be redeemed, and he will ascend to the heavens once more.
Teleporting back to Yelesna, we then head towards the fortified outpost of Kor Valar and push north into the Shivering Wilds, where fanatical fallen lie in wait. We then lift off the demons some decidedly useful loot in the bitter cold, a leather doublet, some welcome warmth for the trek ahead. We then find, through the thick snow, the main entrance to Kor Valar. Sheathing our weapon to show we're not an enemy, we see the gates are sealed, and a knight on a terrace above demands.
State your business.
Reverend Mother Prava expects me.
Open the gates!
Heading through the open gate, we're welcomed by the icy demeanor of the guards, befitting the gale, and are immediately drawn to the warmth of a nearby bonfire and see Vigo, realizing he can take no solace in its warmth, as its fire is for his fallen comrades.
You were good soldiers. Worked hard. Fought hard. Drank hard too. Brothers. Sisters. I hope you find peace in these flames.
Vigo, what are you doing here?
So you lived. I came clean to Prava. About taking that woman's bribe. It's looking bad. My ass is on the line. Might not have a job when she's done with me. Hey, you're here for her, right? Let's go together. Maybe she'll go easy on me if you're there.
Not liking Vigo's odds, acquiesce. Surely a cornerstone of the Holy Order is forgiveness earned through penance.
Not many could bear your sins.
Coincidentally, a nearby penitent monk scoffs at us. Perhaps Vigo chose the wrong order. We inspect what the monks are working on. Curiously, we see the helmet's spike recede deep within the helmet as part of a metal slab that protrudes downward. The metal tendrils stretch to the helmet's base and latch onto a studded leather cap, denying any room for a head. We then interrupt the knight to our right, who is no doubt busy measuring our sins, and ask, "Is that armor?"
This is no mere armor. This is a holy vessel of the highest craftsmanship. It may uplift the repentant sinner directly to the light. Can armor do that?
Uplift. It looks too large to move.
Faith rather than flesh moves this suit, though how is only known to a privileged few. The practice has been long abandoned. Something big is coming. Holy war. Mark my words, she wouldn't have asked me to prepare a relic like this otherwise.
Well, desperate times call for desperate measures. Making our way to the keep's war room, the guard stops us.
Hold.
She's expecting us.
Vigo, good luck.
Inside, Prava holds council.
Have the new watch commander replace the forces we lost at the mine. So, you've returned. Vigo here tells me you were braver than he.
Wasting no time, we explain. I need a divine blessing to chase Lilith.
First, you will be made worthy of a blessing. A holy war cannot be won with faithless troops. Make no mistake, this war is holy. Lilith has brought the eternal conflict to Sanctuary, and Inarius will deliver us as writ in prophecy. Until then, we have our parts to play. Make a pilgrimage to the Alabaster Monastery. Cleanse your spirit. Then we may discuss a blessing.
Forced to seek the blessing, Vigo says.
May as well make myself useful. Come by the ruins, south of here.
Dutifully making our way south to the snow-laden ruins, Vigo greets.
Hail.
And we ask, what must I do for my pilgrimage?
There's a shrine west of here. Bears a relic. I'm told it takes on your sin. Weighs you down, body and soul. Beats the hell out of you. It'll cleanse you. Prepare you to stand before the Father. I hope you don't have many regrets, friend. This kind of thing is a lot deadlier for some than others. Watch out, alright? I'll find you at the end.
I'll find out. What else can you tell me about the pilgrimage?
Nothing good. Lost more than a few worthy soldiers to it. But it'll clean you up for Inarius. Rare honor for an outsider. If you can call it that.
Wait, you're not coming with me?
No. I'm not ready. Not by a long shot. Even if I could survive the trail, there's no telling what would happen in the end. You, though, you have a solid chance.
Do you believe in the Cathedral's prophecy?
I had my doubts. The priests were always going on about the return of Lilith. But now she's here. Just like they said.
With Vigo's uninspiring words, we trudge through the thick snow down the side of the mountain, making our way west into the fields of judgment. We soon see the bodies of the frozen faithful, no doubt deemed unworthy. Up a slight slope, we locate a dimly lit altar of purity, and an ornate tablet rests at the foot of the steps that reads,
"Hark, creature of darkness, for you have wandered beyond the reach of the light. Lift your sins, breathe deep the cold air. The path to redemption lies before you, if you have the faith to walk it."
Taking the idol of the faithful, we feel the weight of our sins, and our vision grows dim. Sliding down into the fields of judgment, we soon find the next altar, guarded by putrid rot-wielding Khazra, and led by the vile blight bringer who is touched by destruction. We ward off their pestilent touch with liberal swaths of our side. We then head up the altar of martyrdom and place the idol atop the altar of penitence. The next ornate tablet to our left then reads,
"Feel the sting of your wounds. Let the ice into your bones. Welcome your pain, for the agony of the flesh is the first cleansing of the soul. Make your faith stronger than any hurt."
Prava is either full of faith or a fully fledged masochist. Taking the heft of the idol on our back once more, we head east and are confronted by a group of undead Khazra, blazing and shambling horrors alike. We see their leader is touched by terror, and we're beginning to sense a theme in these trials. We then place the idol on the altar of inheritance, and our vision grows clear enough for us to find the next tablet.
Look around at the mountains towering over you. Feel how small you are. Embrace humility. Accept your place in worship to the Father, for He has shown us the way.
Retrieving the idol for a final time, we push east back towards the city. A giant fleshless abomination hefts its axe down on us, touched by hatred. This crazy Khazra stalks us through the snow, and we're unable to stand our ground. Desperate, we make a break for the idol, turning heel to fling shards of bone from its allies in its direction and halt momentarily, hearing only the stinging winds. Wholly relieved, the beast has finally fallen. We then place the idol on the last altar of displacement and read from the tablet at the anointed ascent.
The end nears, pilgrim. Look into yourself. Find your faith. Feel how it fills the void within you. Remember, you are nothing without faith. Hold fast to the light, and remember.
Apparently, free from sin, the idol, upon being lifted, no longer burdens us so, and instead emanates a warm light. And so we make our way up the mountain to the Alabaster Monastery, and taking in the imposing view of the citadel. We then read the tablet to the left, which imparts, "Rejoice your faith. The Father is prophesied to redeem us all, a spear of light piercing hatred's heart. When he ascends to the heavens, he shall lift us with him to the light above." Placing the idol on the elaborate pedestal, we're glad to have survived the trials and to see Vigo praying by the altar to our right.
So, I like playing cards. Doesn't make me a sinner. But that bribe. Good soldiers died on account of what I did. Is that the kind of man I am? The kind I'll always be. Damn it. I'm praying. Why isn't this working? You made it. That makes one of us at least.
You heard from Prava?
I will, soon. But enough about that. You're about to meet Father Inarius himself. Not everyone comes back, you know. You'd better. I owe you a stiff drink.
Before meeting the angel, we ask, what's it like inside the monastery?
Not sure, but I've heard crazy rumors. Daft old monk, if the unlucky bastard still lives. Probably as cold in there as it is out here. It'll be ornate, that's for sure. Only the best for the one at the top.
Cold, crazy, and conceited? But we still speaking about the monks or Inarius? Vigo doesn't bother responding, and we think better of pushing our luck. And so we make our way over the church's seal. Now, post our trials, we have no doubt the red gem represents the impure blood of the church's sinners. We then approach the large stone doors, which eerily swing open as we mount the stairs. Inside the hazy hall of ascension, we're addressed by the supposed mad monk.
Kneel before him, and remember, you are small, wonderfully small.
We then say to the custodian, Brother Orlin, "Small? Why must I kneel?"
No, it's not about kneeling, it's about wonder. Oh, the light itself, divinity itself, radiates from that room. Though my flesh is cold and numb, my spirit is warm with reverence. What can we do but kneel?
Tell me, shouldn't Inarius be at Kor Valar?
And so he was, until the sweet poetry of the prophecy rang out. To divine its message, he pilgrimaged deep into Sanctuary's heart to meet... well, I shouldn't say.
To meet who?
It pains me to withhold the truth of his light, but I sense it in you, pilgrim, so I shall tell you. He went to speak with the first of his children, Rathma, the prophecy's true author. He emerged armed with sacred conviction, a holy battle at the center of the prophecy to be won by his blade. He has meditated here for years and years ever since, readying to meet fate head on.
Rathma? Rathma. Hearing Inarius is his father is still a shock to the system. How do you know so much about Inarius?
How do you know the warmth of the sun, the love of your mother, the beauty of a song? His presence is infectious. It takes hold in the soul. We are a void without faith, an empty well. The pious fill their cups with prayer. Mine overflows with his light. So near, so pure. I am changed. I am nothing. I am better. Isn't it beautiful?
It seems Lilith isn't the only being that affects the hearts of men, although on opposite sides of the battle. Both benevolent beings bid payment in blood. Ascending the stairs, we spy lavish artworks and a mural of Inarius atop the world stone. The next image depicts a sick woman who appears to be Prava, being healed by Inarius, who stands arm outstretched by her bedside. A third image shows Inarius floating about an army, apparently rallying the faithful for battle. And as we reach the highest level, we steel our resolve as we step towards a final double door, unsure of what to expect as we enter the portal of Father's Radiance.
This is how you choose to approach me.
Forgive this intrusion, but...
Tell me what you need.
I must traverse the Black Lake, and that cannot be done without your blessing.
If I've learned anything during my time here, it is that what we're looking for, and what we need, are rarely the same thing. I once thought I could find an end to this war, but there has been no resolution, only more pain. Everything I've done has pulled me further from home, from the place I need to be. This world we made was born from the impossible, and yet, like its creators, it rots from the inside.
I don't... Lilith has entered the ancient city. With your blessing, I can pursue her.
Your kind are weak, and this world has been wasted on the crusades of the unworthy.
I can stop her.
This audience is concluded.
Leaving our disappointed father's chambers, we mutter.
Back to Kor Valar.
Unsure of our next move, we think it best to seek out Mother Prava about our failed blessing. On the bright side, we're still among the living. For now, at least, unless Lilith's blood kills us first. As we're about to leave, we stop to speak to Brother Orlan of our failed meeting, saying, Inarius didn't seem very welcoming.
No. You heard him, but you did not listen. His voice is music, a symphony of light. Look beyond the words themselves, and you will find truth.
Oh, brother, that's more sycophantic drivel. And with that, we leave for Kor Valar. Entering as day breaks, and see Prava is mid-sermon.
Blessed are those who bask in the light. Let our faith be our armor against the encroaching darkness.
Approaching her, she sighs in relief.
Ah, you've returned. Come, let us speak inside, out of the cold.
Bearing the bad news, we admit, Inarius refused to bless me.
Yet you stand before me unscathed. I know his ways. That is approval enough for me. In the name of the light, I bless you. May the light flow through you and keep you from corruption and sin. Our victory is prophesied in the heavens.
Prophesied? We wonder, why has he taken Rathma's teachings for his own, and ask, what does the prophecy say?
From the Father's voice to my ears, a spear of light piercing hatred's heart. First Lilith, then the Primes. He will deliver us from the eternal conflict.
Your commander attempted to regain Inarius' favor. What will become of Vigo?
Vigo and I had a good conversation when he returned. He will do his penance. Trust that he is in good hands.
Why is Inarius here on Sanctuary?
Penitence. In the heavens' eyes, creating humanity was a sin. They cast him down. Now he seeks redemption and the chance to go home. As prophesied, slaying Lilith is that chance. When he ascends, so shall we all.
With our unexpected blessing, there's one piece of the puzzle left, and we head back to Yelesna to find Neyrelle in the Mistral Woods. After obtaining Inarius' blessing to cross the Black Lake in the wake of Lilith, we learn that we must obtain a ritual as well, which Neyrelle believes may be found in the Horadric vault located in the Mistral Woods. Returning to Yelesna and heading north into the maze-like woods, we find the bodies of dead villagers ripped to shreds by the many bats, wargs, and werewolves that stalk the wooded glade. However, in one clearing, there is a stockpile of supplies and the bodies of their previous owners. Treasure hunters, perhaps like Neyrelle. Next to a nearby body is a dimly lit, gnarled statue bearing 3 heads. Activating it, it reads, "Behold the truths that lie within, and a path laid clear we utter."
There is something strange going on here. Neyrelle must be nearby.
Cautiously, we enter the cave in search of Neyrelle, and into the darkened hold. Inside the winding way, the air hangs thick with magics, and we can barely see 20 yards ahead. Delving deeper into the serpentine snowy path, we're unexpectedly assaulted by the very forest itself, as wood wraiths come bearing down on us. Perhaps worse is the throng of wrathful spirits, enraged at our unwanted interloping. Fatigued and lost, we almost give up our search for the young girl when we spy a peculiar sight. A red portal, and with the bloodied wolf standing by it who greets.
You're stuck in an illusion created by the Horadrim. The portal will lead you through this crude trap.
With nowhere else to go, we hesitantly follow into the fiery portal.
Relax. no harm will come to you here.
We find ourselves inexplicably in a hellscape of a town's ruins. Following the wolf into a town square, we see him sit by a well, seeping blood.
Who are you? An admirer of sorts. I saved you in the mountains. You'd lost your horse and crawled into that cave. Would have frozen to death if not for me.
Why are you helping me?
Oh, it's very simple. You want to stop Lilith, and I want you to succeed. But you'll never do that by following the Horadrim.
Beside him, an image of a maddened man who recently escaped a gibbet to our surprise. We peer into the past and see none other than Decad Cain of the Horadrim, who was once trapped here. Why is Cain a part of this?
Their path always ends in fire and death.
Making our way over to the bony mass reconstituted as a cathedral, the wolf questions.
Seen enough. Open the door.
In turn, we follow the wolf and ask,
Why are you telling me all this?
To warn you. A day will come when the Horadrim stumble. Don't be there when they do. The portal will lead you to that little girl you're looking for.
Before we leave to try and find Nyrel, we then further question, what is this place?
Tristram, the Horadrim of old imprisoned Diablo, the Lord of Terror beneath the earth. And then they built this town nearby. You can see how that turned out.
What does this have to do with us? And why do you want to stop Lilith?
I like the world the way it was, without Lilith. Her little game of rebellion will only lead to chaos. You've already seen visions of the damage she can do. Yes, I know you have fed her blood. Do you feel it changing you? Perhaps not yet. But as long as Lilith walks in your world, it is only a matter of time.
So this wolf knows we must stop Lilith before we succumb to her deadly blood. Before we leave, we see a stone of great power piercing the chest of a nearby corpse. We're then thrust into a final vision of a great warrior who used a similar stone in efforts to contain Diablo. But what does it all mean? Whatever the reason, we think it best to ponder outside of this plane, and so we step back into the fiery portal and realize where we are.
Back in the Horadrim's illusion.
Heading to the north, we see a figure in the distance and exclaim,
Nyrel!
There you are! I think I've lost my way. The same thing happened to my mother and me earlier on. The trail to the vault ends here, so it should be somewhere around in these woods.
With Nyrel by our side, we are again confronted by wrathful spirits of the dead Horadrim, guarding the grove.
Is someone toying with us? This place is a maze. And now this. What's that supposed to be?
We then spy in the bushes a familiar three-faced statue of wood, and as before, examining it, we're ripped from the illusion or shroud of the Horadrim. Back on Sanctuary proper, Nyrel claims,
Oh, I see. The path is different now. The statue was the source of an illusion. We must be close.
And to the west, a great stone structure in which Nyrel exclaims,
Finally, the Horadric vault.
Inside the abandoned main foyer, we ask, this is the place?
Not what I expected. But let's not give up hope. All we need is one book, one spell, to help us cross the Black Lake and stop Lilith.
With our task to find the spell clear, we can't help but wonder what happened to Lorith's Horadric brethren.
Sealed shut. What of the passage over there?
We soon see fresh blood and fear. This has become a place of great sacrifice. Looking at the sealed door, we ask, why were you and your mother looking for this place?
You assume we're treasure hunters, don't you?
I'm not assuming anything. I just want some answers.
Look, ever since I can remember, my mother took me around looking for Horadric artifacts. It was an obsession. And when she learned of this vault and wanted to find it, I couldn't say no.
Why not?
She was sick. Tried to hide it from me, but I knew she didn't have long left. This sort of thing, the hunt, it made her happy. It made me happy too. You have the answers you wanted now?
Leaving the poor girl with her thoughts, we search for access to the main chamber through the eastern wing, finding guarded by quill rats. A tome of lesser verse and incantations for fledgling scholars. We inspect it, seeing it's a worn, dusty book with a faded Horadric seal on the cover. We return to Neyrelle and she discovers...
This is... I think it's written in Horadric code. And here, the same symbol on the door. I have an idea. You might want to take a step back. Chespith Chut. Let's keep on. I wish Mother was here.
With the entrance now open, we delve deeper into the Horadric vault with Neyrelle in tow.
Hey! Wait for me!
Discovering two wings, both sealed by glyphs and a giant floating orb in the center, we question, can you open this door?
It's the same seal as before. Should be easy enough to break it again. But why would someone use it here?
One way to find out.
Of course. We can't let anything stop our pursuit of Lilith. I'll open the door, and if we split up, we'll work faster that way.
Only if you stay on this side of the door.
Fine.
What am I looking for?
Don't you know? A book, a scroll, or anything that will help us cross the Black Lake. Chespith Chut!
Neyrelle then unlocks the seal, and the door slides open, revealing an ominous crimson glow within. Heading west through the halls, we encounter a demonic presence crumbling.
Demons.
Deeper in the vault, we're confronted by a mass of undead, surely summoned by Lilith to guard something of great import. And we find, on their leader's remains, a powerful shield, aegis of the embalmer. Although somewhat morbid to the layman, we equip it with Vhenard's knife, as reconstitution is part of the Great Cycle. And what better weapons to use against our enemy than their own? Inside the northern depths, we descend some stone stairs past a peculiar portal, and are confronted by a screech in the desecrated archives.
Thief! You won't take my master's book!
The voice is that of Chort, a succubi herald of Lilith, bound to guard the tome we no doubt desire. Like her sisters, she hurls bolts of reddish electricity that burns us to our core, summoning burning balls of death in her wake, and flits about around a makeshift arena. We then bridged the gap, eviscerating her with a final terrible swing of our spectral scythe. Gathering the loot of her corpse, including a Stridus tunic, we equip it in new leggings before picking up the book she was protecting. To our shock, it's a book of Rathma's, and we question,
why was a demon guarding that book? I should take this back to Neyrelle.
Bound in black leather, necromantic runes run along the spine of the grim tome. Unfortunately, our skill lies primarily in blood magics. We do not know how this book could be used to cross the lake. Leveraging the nearby teleporter, we find ourselves back in the foyer, and Neyrelle admits,
I hope you had more luck than me.
We then share, I found this book of my order.
Interesting. This ledger was written by the Horadrim. This is chronicling spells and theories created by Rathma, the first necromancer.
That's not what we are looking for.
No. But it can still work. There must be a spell in this book we can use to bring my mother back. She knows the ritual to cross the Black Lake.
Are you sure this is a good idea?
It's all we have. My mother will help us through. Meet me down there.
With our harrowing new goal to resurrect Neyrelle's mother in hope she will aid us, we paused to share before leaving. The passage was infested with demons.
I thought I heard something, but demons? How is that possible? It couldn't have been the Horadrim. They're secretive, but would never follow such a path.
I don't know, but Rathma, that cannot be just a coincidence.
You mean that we found Rathma's book here, and Lilith's going after him? My mother told me once, there are no coincidences where immortals are involved.
We don't remember our mother, just the necromancers who took us in. And it's that reason Lilith must be stopped before she reaches Rathma. After discovering Rathma's Book of Resurrection hidden in the Horadric Vault, Neyrelle formulates a daring gambit to cross the Black Lake and pursue Lilith by resurrecting the only person who knows the spell, her recently deceased mother, who died by our hands no less. Meeting Neyrelle in the darkened way, we ask of the girl, what's the plan?
I'll explain on the way.
True to her word, she explains on the way down to the Black Lake below.
Rathma's description of the ritual was difficult to understand, and the notes weren't much better. I think I know how to talk with my mother again.
As we approach her mother's remains, she questions.
The breeze, coming from the Black Lake. Do you feel it? Let's hurry.
We indeed do see something stirring ahead, and return to Neyrelle so she can begin the ritual with our guidance.
Mother, please, can you hear me?
My little magpie, it's you.
I can save you from this, Mother. I promise. I can learn how to...
Stop. I can't be saved from my own mistakes. This body is only a husk. My spirit must pass on. And you must let me go.
Mother, no. I need you.
You need to move on, Magpie, without me. But I can help you one last time before I go. You have the divine blessing. Your blood is the necessary key. Neyrelle, you were so loved.
Mother.
Neyrelle.
The way is open. We have to go. But... do you think Lilith is even still here? It's been so long. I'm afraid she's won this one. Besides, I have to... take care of my mother. But it's not over yet. Not for you. Lilith was after Rathma. Find him. Learn why. I'll be back at the vault. All right?
Crossing the Black Lake safely, we remark.
How strange. Somehow this place feels like home.
Again, we see the familiar mural of Rathma etched on the floor and press on. Moving past the obelisks, we're aghast to see bloody tendrils growing rampant like weeds, a horrific intermingling of necromancy and demonic taint. Entering the sanctum, we're shocked to see a spirit floating with the face of none other than Rathma, who greets.
You are the last visitor to my sanctum, though you come too late, just as Lilith did before you. For it was my father, Inarius, who arrived here first. It unfolded as my visions foretold, how we hurtle towards the prophecy's end.
Just as he appeared, he then fades into nothingness, and we remember the mad monk Orlin who claimed Rathma had taught Inarius the prophecy. Inside the retreat, we find it is infected by a demonic scourge we vow to scrub from its halls. Rathma then reappears guiding.
It started in dreams. I saw shattered images of the end of Sanctuary. The scales of a great serpent carried these visions. And so I went to visit him. My and the serpent's thoughts met, and the fragmented future was mended together. I put it down in order, and the prophecy was born.
Serpent? He's speaking of Dragul, the joint founder of our order. Fitting, a great dragon taught him about the unending cycle. Down inside the central chamber, we see the source of this blight and remark.
I need to destroy the tumors to go any further.
Hopping over a small chasm to our left, we encounter one of 4 bloody pustules. Tumors of hatred Lilith left in her wake to impede us. Deeper in the sanctum, we ironically find an angelic memorial to Rathma's father, Inarius. Perhaps a testament to his understanding that light and dark equally reside in each of us, despite his parents' hubris. Up the stairs, Rathma shares.
The prophecy became my burden. There were others that knew. Ones that couldn't understand the nature of such a thing. I knew Inarius would be driven to interfere, believing that it was about him. He saw himself as a savior, piercing hatred's heart in hell.
Learning that Inarius had vainly taken on the prophecy to be about his own personal vendetta, Rathma further serenades us as we eradicate more demons from his sanctum.
So I locked the gates to hell. It was only a matter of time before Inarius would discover what I'd done and come demanding the key.
As we enter the depths of the central chamber to slay the final tumor of hatred and uncover the exit, we see a vision of a conversation with Inarius in which Rathma spoke of.
Oh, you refuse to give me the key. You stand in the way of the Savior The holy blood in your veins should be boiling.
Nothing you do will change the future I saw.
I create my own destiny. And this prophecy of yours is just a small part of it. It is wider, beyond comprehension of ungrateful spawns like yourself.
Destroying the tumor, our path is laid bare. And we see a further interaction between the two.
All you must understand is once I am victorious in hell, the high heavens will welcome me home, where I belong.
I wish it would be true, Father.
So, he wasn't lying about his plan. He believes killing Lilith is his personal ticket to heaven. Clearly, Rathma knows more than he's given credit for. As we descend the stairs to the exit, we have a strange sensation that someone is behind us.
Curse this place. I'm being followed.
Inside the Serpent's Passage, we look out over the abyss and marvel at the majesty of Balance's sanctum Prava. Hopping over a final ledge, we're met with a harsh bark.
Outsider! Beyond this chamber, there's nothing but death and mourning. How fitting it shall be your grave.
This foul, cancerous demon must be responsible for the blight covering the outer sanctum. We're then caught in putrid puddles and spawns that sap our vitality. Dodging the numerous pools lest we be infected and succumb to their pernicious effects, we become increasingly desperate as the ground becomes more and more covered, and just as we think we will be overwhelmed, a familiar voice from above booms.
Stand behind my barrier!
We hide inside the bubble that protects us and are in awe, recognizing the blood-soaked armor resurrected by the faith penitent in Kor Valar, but not the man in the suit. Together with the stranger, we work in unison, dodging the tidal waves of contaminated blood and tirelessly attacking the demon from its flank. Anytime Lilith's lament attempts to cast a shockwave of blood across the floor, the armored figure protects us and guides.
Stand behind my barrier!
After what seems an eternity battling the foul fiend, it finally explodes in a plume of rank sanguine fluid. Finding on its remains a legendary dagger, Khanjali of Plunging Darkness, and the dark deed done, we move to speak to our savior, the valorous knight penitent, donning Father's grace, thinking perhaps we judged Inarius' church prematurely, or having one of its own save our life. The hulking suit then lurches forward, and the man rests on a knee so we can remove the helmet. And we're aghast to see the gruesome scene inside.
Vigo! Who did this?
I have done all that was asked. The pain is gone now. This was a just punishment. A stronger man would have refused Vhenard's bribe. Nerel. Nerel, is she safe?
Yes, she is safe.
Our meeting is no coincidence. I came here to help.
Will you give this to her for me? I should never have taken it. It's so dark. I have repented. Do you think I was too late?
No, not too late. The light has come to carry you home. Do you not see it, friend?
Yes. Yes. I see it now. They have come.
You didn't need that armor to prove your worth, friend.
Sickened by the impossible demands of even the loyal, we scoop up Vigo's protecting amulet that had kept us safe in the battle and is inscribed. Through penance alone, we let the Father's light enter our sinful souls. Lay down your life for his purpose, and you shall shine brilliantly with his glory. Holy words of the Father, Book 8. Inarius may not care about his children, but we vow Vigo's sacrifice shall not be in vain. Descending the stairs heading northeast, Rathma deems us ready to see Inarius' true face in the final vision.
Give me the key to hell. I will not ask again.
You don't need to. I saw a vision of the key lifted from my corpse, under the watchful eyes of the great serpent in my sanctum. If you are chosen as you say, it will come to pass.
Crossing the seal into Rathma's sanctum, there is no corruption on the stone walls where the dead are interred, and we question aloud.
It's too quiet. Where is she?
Passing the rows of the dead, we ascend the final stairs and see the corpse.
Is that him? Is that Rathma?
Somehow still preserved. We see beyond the body the eyes of Tragul watching what has transpired on the wall. Sobered by the Order's loss, we return to his body marked by blood petals to somberly experience the events that had befallen the great necromancer.
I don't know if you would have chosen to stand beside me in this new world, Rathma. But I would have saved your place, just the same. And now, all that you might have been has been stolen from me. Stolen. This key unlocks more than the doors of hell. It unlocks our path to the future. A future made possible because of the price you paid. Your sacrifice will not have been in vain.
Disturbed twofold that it was Inarius who executed his son for the key, and Lilith that claimed it, we do not have the luxury of alerting our order. Instead, we teleport back to Yelesna, finding night has fallen inside the Mistral Woods, and with the path to the Horadric vault clear, We find Nyrel in front of a grave she had dug for her mother, which reads, "Here lies Vhenard, who was ever searching. Now she sleeps at the steps of knowledge." Remembering the bracelet, we say to the girl,
Vigo wanted you to have this.
He was a good man. And Lilith? Was she even there? Did you meet her?
Already gone by the time I arrived.
There is more. I can see that.
Lilith took a key to hell off Rathma's body.
Then it was all in vain. She's the only one who got what they wanted.
Nyrel. She came seeking the Horadric of legend. Seeking hope. She found neither. But her part in things was far from over. In truth, we would need her more than she needed us. Didn't seem that way at the time, though. For anyone. Inarius proved to be just as unreliable as I'd feared. His self-obsession had driven him to murder his son, Rathma. And from the corpse left behind, Lilith had taken a key to hell. Where would she use it? We could only depend on ourselves to find out.